Last week, I created a video about our reinstatement readiness reports. We call them an RRR. And this is when somebody comes to us because they have a revoked driver's license and they need to have a Secretary of State hearing. The problem is that is not a straightforward process. There are a bunch of different types of hearings. There can be a bunch of reasons that someone is revoked, and the path forward is not clear. Essentially, what we're doing at a Secretary of State hearing is we're convincing a group of people, the Secretary of State, like the government, that you are a changed person. And those reasons that you got your license taken away are behind you, and you're a changed person, and you're not at risk to repeat those again. And therefore, you're deserving of having your license reinstated. That is a difficult thing to do. That is not a clear, straightforward process where you fill out these forms and submit them, right? You're trying to convince essentially a group or a panel of people of your character, your new character, right? How you are different. And so that requires some strategy. That requires a blueprint. And we begin that with this reinstatement readiness report. Just like if you were going to build a house, right, you need to create a blueprint. We need to look at the past, right? Like, what are the things we're working with here, right? The size of the lot if you're building a house, the terrain, right? The makeup of the soil, right? In this reinstatement readiness report, we're talking about what happened on your old DUIs, how many cases do you have, when are you eligible to even have a hearing? Have you had hearings in the past? Why were you denied? All those things from the past and those factors inform how best to move forward, because there can be multiple different ways to move forward. And so once we've got all that, we can lay this all out for you, give you the next steps, give you recommendations, make sure that you are not only eligible, but that you are a likely candidate to get some sort of relief when it comes to your driving. So that is what the Reinstatement Readiness Report is. Now, I'm going to just show you the report that we give our clients here, but know that behind the scenes, we've gotten police reports and driving records and other national data and queried other national databases, pulled your past documents from past hearings and evaluations. And so we may have a file on you this thick, but we summarized it here in this report and told you clearly how we can move forward with this. But having that stack of documents is going to make the next steps of having a successful hearing all that much easier. So I'm going to walk you through the report. The exact one, this is an exact one that we gave a client. All I did was I eliminated the name and changed some dates and case numbers and stuff to protect their identity. But this is the report, exactly what our clients get once they've hired us to do this RRR. And so you'll see that, thank you for trusting us to review this. Here's what we found. This person has a lifetime disqualification of a CDL, and they're revoked due to a conviction on their second DUI. And where that was in the Markham courthouse. So that's the overview, but here's a review of everything, right? They got their first DUI, then the BAC of 0.1. They get a second DUI then. They can see some drug-related cases too. Revoked driver's license or operating while under the influence, and then they get revoked here. They can see everything. There's a ticket in Georgia case that they took care of years and years and years ago. Driving during a suspension or revocation, which extended their ineligibility. So we kind of go through the whole thing. And you can see at the end, we determined, yes, you are actually eligible, according to the Secretary of State, to have a hearing. And so then we also run a report that's it's called the PDPS. It looks for out-of-state DUIs. We do not, even, it doesn't even mean it was you, right? But like somebody could have the same name or same birthday or driver's license number, whatever. The databases are not perfect. What we don't want to do is you pay thousands of dollars and we walk into a hearing and we find out for the very first time that the Secretary of State thinks you have more DUIs than you actually have, or you have one out of state that you forgot about or whatever. So we're going to do that groundwork by running that report, and we can see that this person has no out-of-state DUI arrests. A really important thing to know. So then this person had hearings in the past, and so we highlighted some of those problems for them. Basically, why did they get denied in the past? Again, what brought us to this point is going to inform how we handle it going forward. So you can see on the screen here some of the inconsistencies between their BAC and their testimony they had. The classification of their evaluation, things like that. And so now we know why they've been denied in the past and exactly what we must address in order to have a successful hearing. Again, this is something you want your lawyer knowing before they agree to, represent you. Doesn't it feel just a little crazy if they're like, oh yeah, we'll take care of all this, we'll get your license, without knowing any of these things? That's why we insist on doing this first. Now, based on our review, and obviously we went back and looked at their old cases. They're in Markham, so we looked it up, saw what happened. That's how we knew that they had a 0.1 BAC, right? So we got all this info, and now probably got a stack of paper like this ready on this, right? And now we can say honestly that you are eligible for a hearing. We're also going to tell you, what we think is the best hearing for you. So we recommend having a formal hearing. There's formal, there's informal, and there's out-of-state hearings. And some people may be eligible for, to have more than one different type of hearing. In this case, this guy needed a formal for sure based on the multiple DUIs. But sometimes there's a question there on what the best way to do it is. And you go have the wrong hearing. Secretary of State doesn't care. They'll let you have the hearing, but then you find out at the end, oops, we had the wrong type of hearing. Or this wasn't even the best one for me. We want to maximize the opportunity of you getting your license back. Here we can see that the different possible relief. You can get a full reinstatement. You can get denied. And they can also give them a restricted driving permit. Talked about some next steps here, right? Does he really need a lawyer? Does he need an evaluation, right? What other things are going to need to be done? We talked through some of those next steps. Give him a price, and you'll see I blanked out the price here, so you can't see it. But each price is different, right? But now we're giving you the lowest, most accurate price that we can possibly give you because we know an awfully lot about your case. Think about this. If you call a lawyer, talk to them on the phone for a few minutes, and they quote a price, they're doing that based off of guesses, right? Just based off of the couple things you told them. And so they're going to quote high. They're going to guess high to cover their own rear end. What we do is we look all these things up through this RRR report, and then we can give you the most accurate price based on everything we found. It's a more accurate price. It's usually a cheaper price, and we're already got half the work done. So there you guys have it. That is a reinstatement readiness report. Some clients get it right away, and they're like, yes, that's exactly what I want to know is what's all that stuff that happened in the past, and what do I got to do going forward? I would love it to have a lawyer look over all of that and give me recommendations, including, the type of hearing, what next steps are, what I should do to go get an evaluation, the price to actually represent me at this hearing, what my chances are of getting that done. That is exactly what most of our clients want to know. And that's what this reinstatement readiness report does. Now, occasionally there are some clients that say, why do I need that? Let's just go have the hearing. You do this all the time, right? Can't you just tell me what we need to do? And the answer is yes, I can. I can guess. But you know what? We've determined after doing hundreds of these, perhaps thousands of these, we've determined that we don't want to guess. We want you to be in the best position possible to actually get it back. And we've determined that the best way to do that is to begin by starting with this reinstatement readiness report, because that's going to maximize your chances of you driving legally. Thanks for watching.